Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government has announced a nationwide curfew across Bangladesh and ordered the deployment of military forces to maintain law and order. The government has deployed police and paramilitary forces across the capital to lock down campuses and break up protests. Remember, Indian students, they have been returning from Bangladesh. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party, the main opposition party, has extended support to the agitators and promised to hold these protests. Now, websites of major news outlets in Bangladesh, including the Daily Star and Dhaka Tribune, it remained offline. Some of the government websites also were hacked. A significant number of Indian students studying in Bangladesh, they have begun returning home, with many arriving in Agartala on Friday following a wave of student protests since last 1 week against the quota system in that nation. They expressed concerns that the situation in Bangladesh could worsen, especially after the government ordered a nationwide shutdown of its mobile internet on Thursday. 105 people, they have died in the violent protests in Bangladesh so far. And to talk about that, we are joined by Mr. Harshvardhan Sringala. He's a former Foreign Secretary as well as a former Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh. Sir, welcome to NDTV.
Thank you, Osama.
We have seen mass evacuations as far as the students are concerned there. My first question to you is, how does it affect the Indian students who are studying there? Because we have seen a lot of these students who go there for medical studies.
Well, we have seen the protests escalate over the period of the last 5 to 6 days. And, once they escalate, these protests can actually, impact on people who are even outside of the ambit of the original protests. So the student community and Indian citizens there obviously need to be vigilant. And that is what the Ministry of External Affairs advisory has, cautioned. I think wherever students feel that they are at risk, I think it is best to evacuate. From what I can see, the airport is not fully functional. Many flights have been cancelled. Students are not getting reservations on flights out. So the best way is to use any of the multiple, entry and exit points to access India and to come back home safe and sound.
So just to put it into context for our viewers, what are the circumstances under which this whole decision has been taken by the Bangladesh government, and why is there so much resentment?
So let me put it in perspective. This is not the first time that the students have protested or are protesting. In 2018, when I was there were some fairly serious student protests. Much of it was on the issue of access to government jobs. There was a sense that, 50 years after independence, there was still a quota system that favored those who were descendants of freedom fighters at that time in 1971. And I think many students feel that there should be, a level playing field, and those quotas after 50 years need to be abolished. And from what I can see, the government has agreed. The government has, agreed to the student concerns, and they had decided to abolish quotas. But the courts, the Supreme Court had, put a stay on that, and as a result of which, I think these protests have restarted. Now, the latest, of course, is that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina herself has come out on television, addressed the public, and said that, look, we are very sympathetic. We are with you in the need to do away with these quotas. But the issue is sub judice, and we need the courts to pronounce on this. I also heard that, the courts were going to take a view on this on Sunday, that's tomorrow, and that the government had offered a dialogue to the students and, those who had genuine concerns. But the situation has escalated. The protests have gone beyond the student remit. I have, also observed that, and from various sources within Bangladesh, that others have joined in. Politically, the BNP, the opposition, has brought in a political dimension, anti-government dimension to this. There are reports of the Jamaat Shibir, which is the student wing of the Jamaat-e-Islami, which was a pro-Pakistan, faction, radical faction, have also sort of joined in order to create, take advantage of the situation, fish in troubled waters, and create some level of, violence and and basically put the government under pressure.
Right.
It's possible that others, other countries, especially those inimical to Bangladesh, our neighbor on the Western Front might also be dabbling in this matter. And certainly, I think the agitation from what it was has escalated into something that is more anti-government in nature. It has escalated into a larger movement involving vested interests, anti-government interests. And I think in all of this, we as a country need to be vigilant because, Bangladesh, we have the largest land border with Bangladesh as with any other country. So that's the general situation as we see it now.
So India has had cordial relations with Bangladesh over the years. Will this unrest have any effect on that relationship? Do you think that?
Well, we've had excellent relationships with Bangladesh since 2008, when Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina came to office, and since then, I think we have achieved more in the bilateral domain than we have in the last 35 years before that. We, I think, have also established a very strong people-to-people connect, and I think all that is very, very critical in the way that we need to look at the relationship. There is a security paradigm that we cannot overlook. Peace and stability in our neighborhood, especially with Bangladesh, with whom we have, such an extended sort of border and a very strong people-to-people connect, is vital for our own security and our own interests. So I cannot overemphasize what the need for restoring peace and normalcy in Bangladesh means for us as a country, for our security and our relationship with that neighboring country.